Vista Marietta Broncos seniors, welcome to our panel discussion. So as part of college and career kickoff activities, we have assembled a panel of professionals to share their journey and experiences with you. As the moderator, I will provide some guiding questions, but there will also be some flexibility to expand on answers and allow you to ask specific questions. And because you are seniors, we are going to allocate more of the time for you to ask questions, since you will be very soon here within the year, either entering a workforce or going to school, or maybe you don't even know what you want to do at all. And so these are the perfect people to ask those questions to. Since we have a limited amount of time, we will get started with introductions. So panel, from the left, please introduce yourself by telling us your name, background, institution, current place of employment, position within the organization, and a brief overview of your general responsibilities within the position.
Good morning, seniors. My name is Dennis Pratt. I work for Home Perfect Restoration as a field superintendent. So that means the multiple jobs we have going, I assist, provide, and make sure that the work's being done properly. We do multiple trades, from cutting all the drywall out. Let's say you have a flood, there's a water emergency, a fire emergency, 24-hour response to cut it out, dry it out, clean it out, and then put it all back together. So the only thing you need to know if you're interested in construction is you have to have a work ethic, be willing to work hard, and a good attitude. You can learn to do any of the trades.
Also, before I forget, please silence all electronic devices. I need headphones, earphones, all that stuff out. Thank you very much, just as a respect. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan Grassmeyer. I'm a captain here at Marietta Fire. Basic responsibilities, I supervise a crew at a fire station, both in-house and on emergency scenes. And I've been there 18 years, and it is one of the fields you do not need a degree to get the entry-level position in, but you do need some trade education.
My name's Jordan. I work for Infinity Energy. I sell solar. We work in the solar field. Definitely, you don't need a college degree to do what we do. It's actually a really good thing to do while you're going to school as well. That's it.
Seniors! Yeah, you guys know me, Gabe Aponte. I'm a detective with Marietta PD. I've been a cop for 13 years, and I'm currently assigned as a juvenile detective, and I investigate any crimes involving juveniles. I did a year and some change at college before I went into the Marine Corps and before I became a cop, and it wasn't until I was 35 that I got my college degree. And we'll expand on all that stuff later, but it's good to be here. Love you guys.
I am Danielle. I am a personal trainer and entrepreneur. I also am an accountant, although I don't work in the accounting field anymore. I did get a degree at a 2-year college, and then I got a degree at a 4-year college, and then ended up, after working for about 7 years in the accounting and business field, getting my personal training certification. I then also got my CPR instructor certification. I've been working since I was 13, and I believe that you can be successful as long as you put your mind to it. Talent doesn't always determine success, but being willing to just work your butt off and not give up and just having grit, that is going to be the determining factor of success. So I will be successful because I choose to be. And that's one thing that you guys need to remember is you need to choose success and then just stick your head to the grind and just do it. Do something. Doesn't matter what you do. You can change career paths 50 times. I've already changed my career path plenty of times. And who knows, I may change it again. But I will be successful because I choose to be.
Hi, my name is Xavier. I'm in the construction industry. I've been working with I was working with an electrical contractor. I specialized in fire alarm systems for about 15 years. Past 5 years, I started my own company, so I'm currently president and CEO of my own fire alarm company now. And this is an industry that you can kind of go either way with. I came in from the ground up, no degrees, didn't graduate high school. And after that, came back, got my GED, and decided to kind of go on a new path and focus on my career. Didn't know what I was going to do in the beginning, but there was something that I kind of took a liking to and started to learn. It is a technical trade within the construction industry. There's a need for it. Every building that you walk into has some form of a fire system. It's very important for today's life, and it's something that I've been focused on for 20 years now. And it's definitely been a good path for me. There's a lot of educational aspects to this that you could do right out of high school. Electronics, engineering, management, anything will put you into this industry. But it's also an industry that you can come into without any experience. We're always looking for people that just have a good work ethic. They're confident what they want to do. They may not know what they want to do, but they know they got to get in. They got to get into the workforce, start making some money. It's definitely a good industry and trade to get into and just learn to work. And I've been doing it now for 20 years and successful at it, and I've been around lots of people that have done the same. So definitely a good industry, good experience for anybody to get in and start working. And that's about it.
My name is Tracy, and I am a IAT certified trichologist, which is a hair loss specialist. I treat men, women, and children with hair loss and scalp problems. I'm also a licensed cosmetologist. I own my own business. I've been in business for myself for over 27 years. I'm an author as well. I authored Activate Your Hair Follicles, a comprehensive guide to hair loss and scalp problems, to help people to identify the many different types of hair loss and scalp problems that are out there in the industry.
Good morning, seniors. My name is David Morris, and I'm in human resources for the last 22 years. And school-wise, graduated high school in Riverside on a Friday, started junior college at Riverside Community, or now at City College, on a Saturday, went straight through, transferred to San Diego State, finished there, transferred to Cal State San Bernardino, did a master's program there. So, one of those, even if I didn't know what I was wanting to do, I knew that school and a college degree and a career path would help me, and so just kind of kept plugging through and finished all that in 6 years. And then has taken that and applied it. My current role is training and development, and so I get to learn everybody else's jobs at the company so that I can teach new hires coming in, so I'm constantly learning. And so using my degree and my experience every day, to help me learn other people's jobs so I can help them to be better.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grant Bell. I am currently the service manager at Gosh Ford Temecula. I've been in the automotive industry for 20 years. Some of my responsibilities include hiring and firing of people interested in the service department, the fiscal health of the department, training and customer satisfaction. I have a 2-year associate's degree and a countless number of certificates in the automotive field. One more thing I want to add. Last year, Gosh Ford Temecula gave out $53,000 worth of scholarships to graduating seniors that wanted to continue their education, and I'm proud to announce that we are continuing that program this year, and it's going to be one of the easiest scholarships you've ever had to apply for. I've got a lot of these flyers all about our scholarship program and how to apply, but it's real simple. It's a website. Fill out your personal information and upload a video as to why you deserve one of the scholarships. We're going to award 50 graduating seniors a $1,000 scholarship, and if you are one of the lucky chosen, the night of the awards banquet, we will give someone an additional $3,000. So someone's going to walk out with $4,000 scholarship the night of the awards banquet. So afterwards, if you guys want to come up and grab a flyer, we've got them here so that you can apply.
Hi guys, my name is Stuart Economos, and I'm the finance director at Gosh Ford Temecula. So I'm at the other end of the automobile business. Most of the people in this, it's not a job career that you thought you were going to do when you were in high school or even college. I did get my college degree in communications and ended up doing this, but it is a very fun and lucrative business that I've been in now for 39 years. So if you like cars and you like sales, it's not a bad way to go.
Good morning. My name is Billy Hansen. I've held different jobs in the medical field over the last 10 years. In the last 4, I've been a respiratory therapist at Riverside County Hospital. I assist doctors and nurses in keeping people alive, and I've worked in different environments from major traumas in the ER to really sick people on life support in the ICU. So if you have any questions in the medical field, let me know.
Good morning, Senior Broncos. You know, I was going to tell you a little about myself real quick, but before I do that, I think you guys, I see a bleacher creature up here. So I'm going to start this off with, give me a B. R-O. Give me an N. C-O-S. What's that spell? Who are we? Who's the best? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Kip Cothran here from KC Photography. I've been a Bronco lover since 2008. My kids graduated in 2008 and 2010. I think I'm in charge of what's called the Loud and Proud section at the football games on Friday nights. You guys may have seen me on Twitter this past weekend over at Chaparral, and we did a little bit of some good stuff over there, beating the Chaparral 37-17. But my real business, besides taking pictures of the band and cheering and doing 50-50 and everything else, is trying to have a business in photography. I've been in photography for 37 years, or 36 years I've had my business. But I specialize in portraits, events, seniors, sports and schools, action shots. I shoot, print, deliver on location without hesitation. I try to get it done, and I'm always having fun. So snap, crackle, and POP. Who's going out Friday night for a Bronco victory?
It's so quick. All right, so seniors, how many of you currently work? How many of you are looking to get a job? Awesome. So, just in this room alone, if you were all applying for the same job, hopefully something would set you apart. So I'd like to ask the panel, just maybe 1 or 2 answers from the panel. What would set a young person apart if you were somebody looking to hire?
Exhibiting confidence in your interview. Just be sure about who you are and make sure that you get that across to the person that's sitting across from you. Be authentic, be your authentic self. You want integrity, honesty, and confidence.
I told the story in the last panel. Honesty is a big thing. I had to fire someone after a day and a half. They weren't honest in their interview, and they couldn't perform the job task that they were hired to do, and that came out a day and a half later. So honesty is a big deal. And I've mentioned this other thing in all the other panels. What you're doing on social media today may affect your job tomorrow. If you are out there being a bully, if you're posting racist comments, if you're out there showing you're vandalizing the streets, if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, don't put it on social media. Because I guarantee you, 5 seconds after you walk out of my office, I am hunting you down on social media. I want to know what you do when you're not at work. I want to make sure that you're going to be a productive participant at our store or whatever your job is. So if you're an active member of your community, a club, your church, whatever it is you do, those are the kinds of things that managers want to see. They want to know that you're an outstanding individual and that someone that will be an asset to the company and not someone that will be a liability.
I've said this to the freshmen and the juniors now, so I'm going to say it to you because you're going to be doing it sooner than they are. You need to look your best. as much as it's taboo to be superficial, and that probably sounds superficial, everybody makes judgments as soon as they see a person walk through the door, especially if you're going for an interview. So you don't want to look like you just rolled out of bed. You don't want to look like you woke up 5 minutes ago. You need to have your hair combed. You need to have your best clothes on, and you need to look awake and like you're ready for an interview. I, as a personal trainer, if you came in to interview with me in fitness clothes, I would think that's fine because you're there looking like you work out. That's okay. But if you came in business clothes, then that would set you apart. So if I had 5 people interviewing and 1 or 2 people came in business clothes, those are the people that I'm going to think they really want this job. Those are the 2 I'm really going to look intently at. So don't dress for the position that you're interviewing for in your interview. Dress for the interview. You can always change what you wear for the job later, but you have to get the job first. So look your best, because as soon as you walk through that door, I'm already thinking about my judgment about you.
You guys are at this stage, you're probably not filling out resumes, but you're filling out applications. And if you're not filling it online, or if you are filling it online, if you have somebody, have them proofread your work. One of the big things, and kind of dress to impress, is if you have grammatical mistakes on your application, misspellings, or your resume, recruiters will look at that and put it right to the side, because it doesn't. Everybody makes spelling mistakes, but it's about preparedness and taking the time. Just like when you're turning in a paper or your homework and going through it and proofing it, make sure that you're presenting your best self, not only in person, but also on paper or online, that you have accurate information regarding your background and experiences. And you're just not having any mistakes in it that's going to take away from your opportunity to get that interview to do that. So just a couple minutes and maybe have somebody else proofread what you're providing before you turn it in.
Something simple I wanted to tap on was an interview isn't just you leaving to go to a job interview. I'm sure your friends, family, even teachers, associates here, they know people. Networking yourself to people that might be in an industry that you potentially may be interested in is a great interview. Every day that you get up and you walk, you potentially can be in an interview with somebody just in the grocery store. If you're there and you happen to be next to somebody and there's a conversation that sparks, you never know who that is. So always keep that in mind. Wherever you go, there's a potential interview coming. Physically pursuing a job and looking online or wherever you guys are going to get your particular job that you want to look for is a direct interview with a company, but always remember you're constantly in interview mode until you have what you want, and that could be for the next 20 years. Also, when you are face-to-face with somebody, confidence and a nice firm handshake and just letting them know that you're present is very, very important.
Awesome. So before we open up the floor for some questions, I just want to kind of give you some insight. So how many of you on the panel are currently in the profession that you thought you would be in when you were in high school? Huh. So 3. So if you are someone who is still unaware of what you want to do or confused or overwhelmed, the majority of the panel was probably feeling the same or thought they wanted to do something else and pursued it and then change careers. So just something to keep in mind. If you have any questions, we're going to open up the floor right now. I'll hand you the mic. You can ask the panel questions. This is probably the most important part of the day for you. So if you have anything that you're curious about, this one question and the answer from a specific person could like literally change your life if you're wanting to ask. Yes?
So this is for you. I want to be a PA, and I was really looking into going into the Air Force for that to get all the medical, because they have a really good medical team. But also, I was really considering becoming an RN as I'm in college. Would that be possible? Because you know how you have to go to school first, and you could become an RN and then go from there.
So there's a lot of RN programs out there. I know in the junior colleges as well, you don't have to go to a 4-year program just to do RN. I I know there's a couple colleges around here, Palomar and MSGC, both have 2-year programs for nursing. And it's a great thing to do. That's kind of how I went. I went junior college first. I didn't really know what I wanted to do out of high school, and I went to junior college, and I found the medical field. I went to EMT school, and that's what started it all off. So there's a lot of great nursing programs that you can do while you're getting your general education as well. And if that's something you want to do, it's a great program.
Anybody else? Cool.
I believe one of the panel members, when they were talking about interviews, said that CPR is certified and how that could help, like make you look better on resumes. There's a program on campus called COPS where you provide, it's like a student security for football games and dances and stuff like that. Do programs like that look good on resumes or applications? Are they applicable to that? Will an interviewer look at like, oh, this kid provides that?
Okay, so I am the CPR certified instructor, but I do encourage you to get any certification that is of interest to you, because I have several, and you never know where life is going to lead you, but the more skills that you have, the better marketable you are for a job, because you never know what life's going to hand you. I will keep my certified CPR instructor license going, whether I'm doing courses or not. I'll keep my personal training certification going, whether I'm personal training or not. I've got my business degree to fall back on as well, and I am going to continue pursuing other academic education, because the more skills that you have, the better off you are. And the other thing that interviewers are going to look at on a resume, it's not necessarily what you have the certification in or what you have the degree in, because you may be going for a job that has nothing to do with what you're certified in, but the fact that you completed a certification or an education of some sort, that shows that you had the wherewithal to go through something and not give up and complete it. So it's more important that you complete what you started than specifically what it is that you got your certification in. So absolutely, if that's of something of interest to you, then go for it, because it is going to give you a skill, but it's also going to show that you pursued something and you finished.
Real quick to elaborate, whatever it is you're doing, the student security or anything like that, people have talked about looking at you on social media, first impression, how you look through the door. If you get to a job where you actually have a resume, one of the ending things on an interview question is, tell me about yourself. What do you have to say? You are building your profile that we're going to evaluate in 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even a 30-second read over a resume. So in addition to certifications, participation, public service, that thing you were explaining where you do the security things, that's something that just is different than the other person interviewing. You're not just check the boxes, I'm of the right age, I got the minimum qualifications, and that it. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic, but when they were talking about authenticity, that's your story, and you can start building that story now with things like that, with your community service, and then you're going to use those experiences and market yourself. So anything that is applicable to tell your story to us in a 30-second read of your resume or a 5-minute interview, because that's all you get.
All right. Any other questions? Okay.
So, Mr. Hanson, you said that you pursued the EMT program. What was your major?
So originally I went to junior college and I just did my general education first to get the prerequisites out of the way. And then I found EMT school, and I went to EMT school and I became an EMT. I worked in San Diego County on an ambulance for a long time. And then I majored in fire science, because originally I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to go to paramedic school and do all that. So I went that route. I went to paramedic school, I went to fire academy, all at Palomar College, and I had some health issues come up that made it, firefighting's a very competitive field, and so I kind of shifted, and I found another school called San Joaquin Valley College. It's in the area. There's also a couple different locations in Riverside County, and they focus just on the medical field. So they have 2-year programs for medical assisting, for surgical tech, for dental assisting, all sorts of different things, and that's how I got into respiratory therapy. But originally it was, I went for fire science.
Any other questions for anybody on the panel? All right.
I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but the HR guy. What problems have you encountered leading up to your career and while in your career?
Problems in my career? Like career problems, I think it's getting, we talked about getting experience, right? And not closing yourself off from experiences. And so my very first, like, I think I wrote it down one time, I had like 35 jobs, right? As you kind of go through, but, around 24 in the corporate group. It's getting noticed, and it's really networking. So I worked at Southern California Gas Company, San Diego Gas and Electric for 7 years. Old company, my boss is still in the same job 19 years later, same role, same title, and young coming up, I wanted to move around. And so I thought just by hard work and merit alone would qualify me for those roles, and I couldn't have been completely more wrong. It was about networking and developing an interest in getting to know the other departments and the other managers and expressing an interest in what they do to build those relationships. And so building that network and putting the message out there on where you want to go and who you want to be, and getting other people out there knowing what you want to do, because then they'll support you. And I thought it was just like, well, I'm smart, I'm really good at my job, and people are going to notice that, and they don't, right? Because they're all busy running their own lives. So you have to go out there and make an effort to build those connections and market yourself.
Anybody else? Right now.
This is for Mr. Hansen. Would you ever consider going into like residency programs throughout your medical career? And how many years would you attend those residency programs?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different residency programs in the medical field. I actually graduated with a couple people that did a residency program down at Rady's Children's Hospital, and it's a way for them to, they take in people who are just right out of school, and it's a way for them to train you how they want you to train on the job. So you work for them for about a year through this residency program, and it really sets you up for a good career in the medical field. And the people that I know that did it, they love their job, they work with kids every day, and it's very fulfilling for them. So I would recommend it, yes.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anybody? Oh, look at that. People are starting to pop their hands up. I like it.
So this one's also for you. So for resident programs, is it like, how many do they offer? Like, is it for like a wide range in the medical field for resident programs, or is it like, because I know they have like ones for like surgeons or for like techs, but do they have them like for like a lot of different career paths in the medical field?
The ones that I know of, yeah, they're very career specific. I know that they have some for like you said, different like physician's assistants. They have them for respiratory therapists. I think they have them for nursing too. There's some new grad programs for nursing that get your foot in the door at different hospitals. So yeah, definitely, you really have to research it just depending on the career field you want to go into. But there's a lot of opportunities out there for residency programs.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is for Officer Aponte. I was just going to ask if you valued your time before entering the military, because I'm considering going into the Air Force right now, and I was unsure if I should go to college and get some more experience in my studies and life experience, or if I should just go in straight away after high school.
Great question. So hopefully, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already have a plan, or you know what college you're going to, or you have an idea as to what field you're going to go into, which is awesome because I didn't have this opportunity when I was in high school. I didn't get to have a bunch of professionals to ask, just to pick their brains as to how they got to where they're at. So hopefully you guys realize that you're about to start out on the most crucial and massive part of your existence on earth, and that is going into your adulthood. Because I'm sure your high school, when you were a freshman and you showed up here, you were like, yeah, I'm a freshman, this is awesome, I have no worries. And now you're like, dude, I'm a senior. Like, next year, I'm not gonna be a student anymore. I'm not gonna be able to say, I'm a Bronco. That's not your identity. You're gonna go into something else. So in regards to your question, if you should go to school first or go into the military, so my personal feeling, I went into the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps has paid for my college. So if you feel like going into the military, across the board, they'll pay for your school. So it's expensive, and debt's difficult, especially if you go to school. A lot of people nowadays, guys, have 4-year degrees. It's not like it used to be when it was my generation, we were younger, and it's like, you have a 4-year degree? That's amazing. Let's get you going. A lot of people have 4-year degrees now. So that is just on its face alone not going to cut you out from the group. You have to have things that are going to make you stand out. Earlier, this gentleman over here talked about the COPS program. You got to have things, do something that sets you apart because that's what they're going to want to know. If there's a whole bunch of the same people, you're not going to stand out. So if you want to go into the military, have the military and have them pay for your schooling, so that when you're done with your 4 years, you could potentially get your degree. So then now, say you just want to do 4 years and you're done, you go into the workforce. Now not only are you able to say, hey, I served in you said Air Force? I served in the United States Air Force for 4 years, but I also have a degree in whatever the heck you want to have. So that's a great plan. My suggestion to you is let the government pay for it.
I'm just trying to throw something on top of that. Back to you, baby. I say get your 4 years, get your education, but stay in and do your 20. That way you have a retirement as well.
I have one thing to add, or a couple things to add to that. Internships are a good way to set yourself apart as well. So you can have a formal or informal internship. If you are interested in a certain field, start making some phone calls to businesses. If one of you guys were interested in personal training and you called the gym that I work at, we would absolutely let you come in and shadow us and learn about personal training. And a lot of businesses are the same way. They may not offer formal internships going out and recruiting interns, but if you call them and say, hey, I want to come learn about your industry, can I intern for you? That's going to set you apart. The other thing in regards to the military, not that I was in the military, but I know firsthand that if you go into the military, that definitely sets you apart because a lot of career paths, especially if you're interested in like getting into the union, retired military gets priority. You actually get priority hiring for those positions just from being in the military. So if that's something that you're interested in as well, like definitely pursue that.
Oh, okay. Then don't say sorry.
So I have a question for you. I was gonna ask for. Sorry, I know, of course. For photography, I'm interested specifically in underwater, as in like taking pictures of marine life and such. What would be like the best way to start off going down that path?
First thing you need to do is get certified as a scuba diver. And that way, I was certified when I worked on cruise ships for 2 years. I was certified in the Caribbean and did actually photograph underwater. Back then I had a great housing and a great camera to photograph underwater with extensions out on the side, and that stuff costs a whole lot of money. And when I had it shipped back to the United States, it never made it. So, yeah, me too. That's because I can't afford it again. When you're underwater, like I said, first of all, you need your scuba license. Grabbing a camera, any camera, going under and seeing the different aspects of underwater, what it does for you. You don't need a wide-angle camera, but there's careers out there, say underwater welding. Anything underwater will take you underwater, obviously, but then you can take your camera with you and take pictures of people doing what you want to do. And so those are different ideas of how to get underwater and clean the bottom of people's boats. Take pictures of their boats while you're under there. Oh my God, you got this scratch under there. Do you want me to wax it out and buff it out for you? You know, so there's all kinds of different things you can do underwater. I used to feed the fish and take pictures of people with nurse sharks and feeding turtles and the stingrays. But I got paid good money to do crazy stuff underwater. Thank you.
For those who didn't know what they wanted to do in high school, how did you kind of end up where you are now?
Apparently, I'm going to be talking. For me, I'm straight out of high school. I was working like 3 days out of high school at a furniture store, and I worked there for like 15 years. The biggest thing for me was I was also trying to play football without going to school, which isn't the smartest idea, I promise. It's just a difficult trial, but I mean, I was able to do it. I just wasn't making as much money as I thought I was going to be making doing that. So, and then this thing that Gabe talked about in the last couple ones was time. Like everybody, he talked about like right now, this was like the most important 4 years of your guys' life, and then like after, like it changes, it totally reverses. And for me, time. I had a daughter. Well, I had a daughter that was a baby at the time, and working all these hours and stuff like that, and being gone from my family a lot was not something that was good for me. So I had to find something that, one, was exciting, and two, so when I got into the sales industry, I was able to work when I want. I could wake up whatever time I wanted or anything like that. I didn't really have a boss. And then just moving to my field now, just being in solar, like I've been able to help a lot of people make professional money without going to school, or guys that did go to school that didn't like the career, like how she was an accountant. You know, it just didn't fit. So that's kind of my story about it, is that now I've been able to travel the world. I've been able to do a lot of things and see a lot of places, and yeah, that's good, right?
Just to go a little farther on that question, I know very few, if any of you, are ever going to end up in the car business at the end I'm at, because not too many people choose to get to this area. But I learned that at the beginning, when I really didn't know what I wanted to do, that even if you're not one that loves college and think that's the way to go, even if you're working part-time jobs and stuff, when you get out till you figure it out, junior college, just taking general ed courses and being around a lot of people that are in the same boat you are gives you a lot of information. Between the professors and other students, there's so many opportunities in junior college that you can pursue, that they give you a lot of different answers to questions that you're thinking about. I'm thinking about doing A, B, or C. All those answers will be in those small schools, because there's a lot more time and availability to learn stuff. So if you really don't know which way you want to go, taking a few classes in junior college till you figure it out really can help you understand that. And
just one more little elaboration. I love to elaborate. For me personally, I have taken many different paths, but everything I've done was because I was passionate about it at the time. So I originally got my degree in agriculture business because I'm passionate about agriculture. I grew up a farm kid, and in the industry is very important. So that I wanted the business degree because business is very versatile, but I wanted the specialization in agriculture because I was passionate about it. Got into that field. As I was working in that field, I decided the job I had wasn't the job that I wanted to continue doing. So I got into accounting because I love numbers. I'm a math nerd. And so I said, well, I'm going to get into accounting. So I started doing that, and I liked it for a little while because I like numbers, but I figured out I wasn't really passionate about that job either. And then I started pursuing my personal training, and that became what I was passionate about because I was passionate about my own health and wellness. And everything I've done has revolved around wanting to help people. And we all naturally want to help people. So my advice would be, first, figure out what you love, and then figure out how you can use what you love to help people, because it's going to make you feel fulfilled. And if you get into that and you're doing it for 3 or 5 or 12 years, and then all of a sudden it's not what you want to do anymore, that's okay. Find what you like now. We all change, and all of our passions change, so find what you want, what you like now, and start pursuing that. Keep a job while you do it, because we all need to make money, and sometimes you're not going to like your job, but constantly pursue your passion, and you're always going to feel fulfilled.
Hello, this is for Officer Aponte. I have actually 2 questions. My first one was, obviously every military branch has its benefits, and every single one of them is great. But if you could choose again, would you choose again the Marines or any other, considering the benefits only?
That was the first question?
Yes.
Okay. So, being a Marine is something that I am still. Even though I'm out of the Marine Corps, the lifestyle, our ethos, if you could call it that, we're always a Marine. So will always be biased to be in the Marine Corps. However, the pay and the benefits are the same across the board, but the jobs are different, right? In the Marine Corps, obviously, we're the first to fight. We go in there, and we're a lot of times in the front line. There are other branches of the military that are more geared towards other needs, with like being an electrician or, stabilizing the bases in these other countries. They're not necessarily on the front line, but they have a very crucial and intricate part into this success. So there are other branches that have other benefits, but yes, I would always go back and be a Marine.
And then my next question, it's a little off topic, but it's really been nagging in the back of my head.
Okay.
I was wondering who will win in an arm wrestle, you or Jordan Brown?
Me. Hey, Jordan's my cousin, by the way. So.
We got. Yeah, hey, we've got time for one more, so I'm going to go back there. So this will be the last question.
Thank you. I was thinking about going to the Marine Corps, Officer Ponte, and I was wondering what the biggest challenge was to be getting in the Marine Corps.
So, good question. So in the Marine Corps, they say that what separates it, because they always say, the Marines, they're the best, all that kind of stuff. We really undergo the most mental games, mental stress. That's what they really indoctrinate you. When you're in boot camp, it's insane. As an example, I got my wisdom teeth taken out in boot camp, and I went back to the squad bay, and I had my little things in to keep from bleeding, and I was the platoon guide, so I was like the number one guy that was responsible for everything in there, besides the drill instructors. The drill instructors changed their watch, so the new one came on, and he wanted to know why I was gone, because he wasn't told why. And when I couldn't be loud enough, he punched me in the throat. And I ended up spitting out my stuff, and then I held up the paper like, I'm like, ugh. That said I'm supposed to be in the rack, and he's like, oh, all right, go get in bed. So prepare. So if you want to go in the Marine Corps, know that screaming and yelling and yelling is going to happen, but it's just screaming and yelling, right? Yeah, you might get some physical whatever, but that's only going to push you, because what you guys are all going to realize is that in order for you to grow, you have to struggle. In order for you to become better, you're going to have to go through some pain, right? If everything in your life was super easy, then you wouldn't actually get better. In the Marine Corps, they challenge you physically and mentally. We do the most rigorous PT, and the drill instructors are like little demons from hell. So just be ready for that. And if you could get through all that, you'd be good.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. That's all the time we have. So if you have a specific question for anybody and you have a couple seconds, I don't believe you do those, seniors, because I think you have to go take your picture now, from what I understand. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.